This is ANTIC, the Atari 8-bit podcast. It is March 2026, and we are here to talk about all things Atari 8-bit computers. We have a special guest. It's going to be awesome. I am your host, Kay Savitz, and I am here with my two wonderful co-hosts, Randy Kindig.
Hey everyone, wonderful. Wow, I feel honored.
Wonderful. And our wonderful other host, Brad Arnold.
The other. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh,
And our super extra double plus wonderful special guest today, Paulo Garcia.
Hey, hi guys. I'm really happy to be here. I feel like I'm like a night show, like Stephen Colbert or I'm very nervous right now. So I hope
That's a good analogy.
yeah.
That's a really good analogy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I said, this is the March 2026 episode, and we start every episode by talking about what we have been up to, and I think we're just going to jump straight into our special guest, Paulo Garcia. Paulo, you may know as the creator of Fujisan, the latest, greatest, hottest, hippest new Atari 8-bit emulator. And Paulo, tell us about what's up with you and what's up with Fujisan.
Okay, so I started with Fujisan probably like 9 months ago. My first idea was actually something completely different, just to give like a quick background here. I was kind of like motivated to migrate Altura to be cross-platform, and I started with that, but in the end was too much, almost impossible to do that, like any time I would have available. So I decided to go another route and create like first like an emulator for myself that I like to use. So I went look for the Atari 800 emulator that's already cross-platform and created Fujisan on top of that, right? So the first few versions was pretty much Atari 800 with the very like I assume it's a very nice UI that makes it easier for people to use it. One of the things that I didn't like about Atari 800 is that in emulator menu for controlling what you have, like the settings for the emulator. So I create like a whole like wrapped around like Qt UI framework to give like a nice look both for, well, not for both, like Linux, Windows, and Mac OS. So all these months I've been spend some time like trying to make it like work nicely. I have some, I try to keep like under wraps for a little bit, so there is not a lot of people using, and I can keep up with the requests. Lately, pretty much what I've been doing is trying to make it easier for people that wants to use the emulator to either like play with FujiNet PC, like the emulated FujiNet that you can run on your computer, and also for people that want to get like a little bit of time like playing with fast basic and also like try to create some applications using FujiNet. So my focus shift a little bit in a way that I decided to put first in the probably like 3 versions ago or 4 versions ago, I bundled FujiNet inside Fujisan. So basically, like when I build FujiNet, when I build Fujisan, I grab FujiNet source codes and I build that for all platforms, and I put it like inside the same like package that people download. This way, basically, you don't have to download like a separate software for FujiNet, which I found a little bit overwhelming when I first started looking. You have like so many different options in different places, and in the end, like was a little bit hard for people that are not like too tech savvy to download either like was a Python script or was a PC Windows version that you have to run under Wine. So in the end, I put that inside FujiNet. Fujisan. I guess the name is not like a kind of very good idea. Everything being a little Fuji, but I guess Atari makes that happen. Anyway, I think the main thing here is that now when you run FujiNet both on Mac or Linux, you have a settings that you enable Net SIO, and FujiNet starts on the background. So when you press code boot again, or if you restart Fujisan, FujiNet will boot immediately. So you pretty much have everything available for you without having to download any software. And like I think it's been working pretty well. One of the things that I'm up to these days is because I don't know if you guys know that Atari 800, like the upstream project that I based my work on, they only support FujiNet for Mac and Linux because like these two platforms share the same kind of Unix root. So the implementation for Fuji Net or the Net SIO support was pretty much made for these two platforms, and Windows doesn't have that. Windows, the way it handles networking, threads, all this like low level stuff is very different than like the Unix like software. And so Atari 800 doesn't have that. So today, either like neither Atari 800 or Fujisan supports FujiNet under Windows. And to my surprise, like when I saw the download statistics on the GitHub release pages, Windows was kind of one of the most downloaded versions, and that kind of struck me like, oh, actually people, because they have like good options with Altera, right? Like it's not that the Windows users don't have a perfect option to use, excuse me, to use Fuji Net. But anyway, with this number of users using Windows, I decided to get into this rabbit hole and implementing the FujiNet on Atari 800 and therefore in Fujisan for Windows as well. At this moment, like yesterday, I finally got it running. It's still like very buggy and lots of things to kind of go through to make sure it works perfectly. But probably like in the next few weeks, I will be able to release Fujisan that will support FujiNet for all the three platforms that I'm trying to cover. So that's kind of like a big thing. The other thing that I've been working on, and actually it was a lot based on the last discussions you guys had in the probably like the previous two episodes, talking about fast-based programming, editor of preference, and things like that. I think UK mentioned that you don't like Visual Studio Code very much, or you don't use it. You prefer to use something else.
Right.
And yeah, and that kind of, oh, that's actually a good point, because I particularly like I use Visual Studio Code all the time, even for like my regular work. But I confess I don't like it very much. Like I think it's a little bit clunky, the UI, and it's not very easy to use. So I decided to create like an option. So now in the last version I released, you have fast-based compiler also bundled in the Fujisan package. So you have a little option that will open like a panel at the bottom and let you point to a folder where you have your basic source codes, like the .bas files. And with a click of a button, you click run, Fujisan will call the fast-based compiler, will get the program, like the source code that you select, will compile it and deploy it to Fujisan to run immediately. So
Oh,
you can pretty
wow.
much, yeah, so you can pretty much use whatever editor, like even TextEdit or Notepad for Windows
Right.
users,
Yeah.
and save that file. And if Fujisan is already pointing to that folder where your file is saved, you just select the file name, click run, and you'll deploy directly to Fujisan to run.
Oh, neat.
So yeah,
Can it, okay, let me ask a couple questions there.
sure.
Does it, so does it notice when the file has been has been saved? Is it like a watch folder, or do you actually have to go to Fujisan and say go?
Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah,
Okay.
actually, that's actually a good point. It's a good idea, because my point was like I would like to make it run automatically, but at this point, no, you have to go, because the thing is, the way I created Fujisan and the way you talk with other applications, you don't have to close and open the emulator all the time. You know, like run it with parameters saying which file you want to run. You keep it running, and the communication happens in the background via like a TCP,
Mhm.
and we pretty much like you keep Fujisan running all the time. So you can have like split screen. Let's say you have your program here and have Fujisan on the other side. You save here, you click the button, it runs automatically.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
The
So what
yeah.
happened? Not that I've ever written a program with a bug in it, but what happens if I wrote something in Fast Basic and BB Edit and then run it in Fujisan and there's a bug in it? How do I find out about it?
Yeah, well, that's the downside of it, right? Like the way I did for this is it doesn't support the same features that Eric Carr what's called again? The FS codes, fast basic debugger, like the extension recreated. You can go step by step, like like line by line, seeing what's going on and check the variable names. For this solution I created, it's not there. I don't know if I will be able to be there, but today you have pretty much to kind of like visually debug or imagine what's going on, or you have to like print out variable names to know, like kind of like old school debugging way, the workflow, right? So you
Well,
don't have that. Yeah,
Paulo,
go ahead.
you had a way that you could get to the log file for Fast Basic, and then you can see the errors in that log and debug
Yeah,
it that way.
okay, okay. Yeah, that's one thing that I was actually like very surprised how smart Eric Carr made his extension, the way he's debugging the file, because he injects like some code inside your base code to make sure you know which lines you are and how to get the variable name. So I need to spend some time there to see if I can get this going in a way that would help debugging. So today you have two options, right? Like if you just want to like simple programs, you don't have a lot of bugs, or you want to go like very old school, your workflow, you can use just like in the editor and Fujisan without, you don't have to download the fast-based compiler. Like every time I release a new version, I download the latest they have and I bundle that, and you are good to go with both FujiNet and Fuji and fast-basic. But if you need like a more complex debugging, you have to go to Visual Studio Code, install Eric Carr's extension, and the version, like I submitted to his GitHub project, the changes that made that support Fujisan. So, and he reviewed, he accepted yesterday, and he told me that I think he's traveling. So next week when he's back, he will build and publish the extension into like on the Visual Studio Code Marketplace, so people can download directly through that and install on their Visual Studio Code. And now you're gonna have the option to run, in case of Mac, right? You can run Altira under Wine, you can use Atari 800 Mac X, and now you can also run with Fujisan. And the only difference between the Atari 800 Mac X and Fujisan is that Fujisan, you keep it running, and every time you run through Visual Studio Code, it will deploy the executable in the in Fujisan. It will run, and the debug like step by step works perfectly, almost all the time. It's pretty cool. Actually,
That's great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's all like it's being very busy to keep up with all that. Like it's overwhelming to support all three platforms, because every time I keep like a release, I create a new release, I have to make sure it's working on all three platforms. I've been
Sure.
relying on like Randy has been helping me to test the Mac version, but pretty much the Linux version and a Windows version are like like I have like different computers at home, and I try to make sure it works. Almost every single time, one of them doesn't work, so I have to go back and see what's going on. And
Yeah.
so yeah, it's been pretty fun. Like I said, like I've been keeping like a very low profile, but I see that like people are downloading and using and sometimes reporting bugs on GitHub, and I'm trying to keep it up. My main objective is not to be as feature complete or feature rich, let's say like Altira or Atari 800 Mac X. Like these are, if you have any, like you want to have all the possible Atari options, you should probably use those. But for 99% of the time, you just need that base thing running on like your emulator. So that's where I'm trying to place Fujisan in that way, that it's easy to use, like low learning curve. You don't have to download multiple softwares everywhere, and I think I'm getting there.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been
Yeah.
I've been really happy with what you've been doing with that. It's really makes it easy to try to create, fast basic program that can interact with FujiNet. So I think you've done a wonderful job
Yeah.
with
That's a
that.
great
And
niche, and just having
yeah,
I like the love the one-stop shop of having FujiNet's built in, fast basic interpreter or compilers built in. Um, yeah, just instead of having a little
Yeah.
jigsaw that you've got to put together and then have to
Yeah.
rebuild every time.
Thank you. Yeah, and the other thing I'm trying to do is, for example, like I had fixes or bugs that I found on FujiNet codes, bugs that I found on Atari 800 code. So I also try to send them these fixes, and like people both on the FujiNet front, like with Tom Cherry, Ron Holmes, and the other guys, and the Atari 800 people are like accepting these changes. So I'm trying to, although I created yet another emulator, so like as if we need another one, but again, I'm trying to make sure I keep things moving and contributing to do the projects that I'm kind of like using code from.
yeah, the
Very nice.
community really appreciates what you're doing, Paolo. So one question I had for you, I know you were looking into submitting it to like the Abbott contest. Is that going to be part of the Abbott application software contest?
Yes, actually, like I thank you because you mentioned to me, I am one like a member of like ABOK,
Mhm.
but I completely missed the deadlines about the contest, and I didn't even think about that to be honest. And then you mentioned to me at the day was like the deadline, right? Like I was probably past the German time, like midnight
Yeah,
in
yeah.
German, but I think it was like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. here in Ottawa. And then I like run like a create like all what they asked to put on the email, and I sent to them, and looks like they accepted. I'm not sure if it's approved to 100% sure if it's approved to run in the contest, but it will be nice. Like I was telling Randy, like I don't reject free money if I happen to win,
Right.
but but
You'll take it, right?
yeah, exactly. But the main thing is like to bring more like awareness about the project and have more people like using and enjoying and maybe even criticizing and make try to make it better. So it's been fun. It's been fun, and it's been a good way for me to participate more on the Atari community that is not something that I wasn't like an Atari owner back in the day. So it's kind of like a new thing to me. And I think it's a nice way to
Well,
contribute
that's
to the
interesting
community.
to me. So how did you get into Atari if you weren't into it back in the day?
Well, I'm like a multi-brand collector like Randy. Like I have probably you can see some like back here like some
Yeah, I see a lot of
many
stuff
different.
back there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's just a part of it. But and then I was at some point involved with like Commodore community back in the 80s. My computer, the main computer was a TRS-80 color computer clone. So that was my teenager years, like my experience, right? So Atari was pretty much brought to my attention. First of all, like I always love how the Atari 400 and 800, how they look. Was one like for me one of the most beautiful computers they created, like with that late 70s design. Like it's kind of like even to me, like for me, the 400 is most beautiful one, like that horrible keyboard, but it horrible to use, but looks very nice, right? But anyway, the point is, what brought me to the Atari was like you guys. Like I started like listening to an Antique from episode one, like back, like that was 13 years ago, right?
13 years
You guys,
ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So at that time, like there was a bunch of different podcasts, and one of the podcasts I happened to find was like the Antique was episode one, and then I started listening to it and said, okay, Atari like looks interesting. So I think I didn't have any Atari computer at that time, so I looked for one. Um, I kind of don't remember which one. I think, oh yes, the first one I bought was a 600 XL, and I started playing with it and back and forth like all these years, like 13 years got past, and me like going through like different machines every year. I try to focus on more on one or other just so I can enjoy it. But a few years ago, I felt like I need to be more involved with some specific community, and like the Atari people, like on Atari Age, like a book, like I've been contributing with like Gunnar and the basic 10-liner contest as a judge for many years, and it's like everybody's nice. Which is not true for other different communities. I don't know if you guys like Commodore people are very nice, but if you go into the demo scene, they are very nasty. It's,
Huh.
it's like some people are very rude actually.
Hmm.
The color computer community, they have some like beefs between each other. So it's kind of like a lot of nice people. I go to attend the assembly all the time, and like I love the people there. But like at the Atari community is just the one that I found like that, oh, I want to do something to get closer and keep the hobby going, like as something that I enjoy, right? Because if you are too isolated, you kind of, I don't know, you what's the point of doing this, right? Like, so I like to be involved. But to answer your question, Kay, what brought me to the Atari was pretty much like how you guys love it and how you've been doing this podcast, and which I don't miss one episode since number one.
Guys, we're
Yeah.
influencers.
Yeah. That's yeah. No,
Right.
I'm not trying to be like a. I don't know if there is a better or more
A
polite way
fanboy?
that a fun boy, like because I'm here. But that's the truth. Like that's
No.
I think I probably mentioned that to Randy at some
It's just
point.
the truth. It's not a
Yeah.
fan, it's not being a
Yeah.
Right.
fanboy,
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
the
It's
truth.
Yeah.
just truth.
Yeah.
Great. Well, excellent.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So, what else is that everything? Have you got others? What else you been up to?
Uh,
Anything?
well, actually, the only thing I was mentioned, like there is a news I think down the road here, but I'm again a judge this year for the base 10-liner contest.
Uh-huh.
And it's a lot of work, like a lot of work, really. Like it's like I don't know, like probably like if I put all together, I would say probably I spend like more than 12 hours looking into like all the entries every year. Last year I had some personal problems, so I just like judged like half of them. But this year I'm trying to see all of them, and I think I'm not sure how many in total, but there are at least I know 37 entries so far. Usually like double that, close to the deadline or even more. One thing that I was going to mention for the listeners here is that there is one Atari entry among these 37. So that's a very low representation,
That's
right?
all
So we
so
Wow.
need more.
far?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Huh.
Yeah.
I have access to those 37. I'm not aware if there are like more entries at this point, but as of today, you can go like on itch.io, you can download the L37, and there's only one Atari entry
Hmm.
there. So
So
I bet there will be more.
yeah.
tell us again what the deadline is for that. We might as well just talk about it now.
Um,
It's
let's it's 20.
it's a week from this recording, I believe, right? Sunday, March 22nd.
Yes, it's March 22nd. Like, yeah, people need to rush. As I said, like usually people tend to submit everything like close to the deadline because it's not only the program, you have to create the documentation there is a lot of things that you have to create for the package, right? But yeah, it's March 22nd is the deadline. Uh, Usually, I would probably be more like concerned about like the time zone too. I'm not sure how much Abu or like Gunnar, that is the organizer, is in terms of like if it's midnight uh, German time or Eastern time or whatever time zone.
Yeah, not
But
everybody gets to submit things after the deadline, huh,
yeah,
Paulo?
yeah, exactly. I don't know. Yeah. So anyway, I think people are. It's like a contest that's more to show off how people like Basic and how smart people are to create like amazing applications or games with like just 10 lines. It's not like there's no money involved. It's more like bragging rights, right? So
Hmm.
I don't think they are very strict in the sense of like if you pass an hour, probably they will let you in. It's not a big deal, I think.
Right.
I'm
Looks
talk
like
out
they
of order
added, at
here.
least since the last time I seriously paid attention, like there's a new category. there's the 80 character, the 120, 156 character categories, the Shao category, which is the wild card. And those, I see a category now I don't remember before called Plus, which allows you to load background graphics, title images, and accompanying music from external storage media. So you get your 10 lines plus whatever you can bring in from the outside world. That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It's and also I think that's the first year that they are. I don't know. I I don't agree too much with that idea, but they brought you can create like IBM PC programs, which is not like 8-bit,
Hmm.
but they say, oh, it's because there is an 8-bit bus, you can do it. So people that program based on IBM, they have the list here. Oh, actually, it's things that weren't allowed last year. The TI-99 because in like it's a 16-bit computer,
Hmm.
IBM PC, PC Junior, and then the Tandy 1000, 2000, Sinclair QL, and Olivetti M20, which I not very aware what's this machine. I imagine
No.
it's like an Italian machine. Yeah, but anyway, there will probably be more programs to go through. Um, yeah, it's I guess you can be more relaxed. Like they own the contest, so they can change the rules every year as they
Sure.
want. But
Why not? Well, the more the
yeah,
merrier.
yeah,
If a PC junior person can place in the top three, then God bless them because
yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I agree. It's just like harder for like who judges because then you have way more things to go through.
Mm.
Uh, but PCs are fine because it's very easy to emulate them. There are some obscure machines that sometimes take me 2 hours to get set up with like emulator or whatever a
Okay.
way I have
Yeah.
to run it,
So you can
and
test it.
then 5 minutes to test it. But yeah, most of them are easy. But yeah, more the merrier. I agree.
Nice.
Hmm.
Great. Well, I always enjoy seeing what comes out of the 10-liner contest, and thank you for being a judge. I cannot imagine it seems like a lot of work, and yeah, it's play some good
I,
games, and I bet play some bad games too.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, yeah. Oh
wonder,
yeah. Mm.
I wonder if there how much, and I don't know if there's any way you can know it unless people tell you how much AI is being utilized, with people generating these programs.
Yeah, last year, it's hard to tell. I think
Yeah.
I actually want to see this year. So far, I didn't see anything like obvious, but it's like I am like super in favor of AI because I think it's more important to deliver and deploy things at like in our hobby, let's say, than to code itself. But for the base 10-liners itself, which is contests to show off your skills, to me, AI shouldn't be allowed, but I don't know. It's something that we will see. I think this one will be the main contest to test that, like to see if people are just submitting things with AI, which
I,
it's not like you can do, oh, create a 10
It's
liner
not like you
program
can
for me.
tell.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think at this
but
point AI
yeah,
can barely do a basic program to draw a cat in 100 lines. You know,
yeah,
having it do the fine work needed to get it in 10 lines is probably not capable right now. Maybe
yeah,
next year.
yeah,
Maybe next year.
yeah. Yeah, it's getting better, right? Like 1 year like ago was terrible. This
Oh,
like today is much nicer. Maybe next year it's a problem that we need to tell. And in the end, like it's a very informal and hobby oriented contest. So it's like, guys, don't use AI. But if
yeah.
someone uses it, what you can do, right? Like in
Right.
the end, like
Yeah.
everybody else is having fun creating it, and if it was, I don't know, prizes involved in terms of like money prize and things like that, maybe it should be more strict. But
I bet there'll be an
yeah.
AI category next year.
Or that, yeah, exactly. You can just
Yeah.
say, "Oh, this is
There you
AI.
go.
Let's see how good it is." Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing all that,
Oh,
Paulo.
no problem.
It's fascinating I love the projects you're working on, and thank you for continuing moving Fujisan into my into the future and making it my new
It
favorite emulator. It's great.
Oh,
it's
nice.
become my emulator of choice, that's for sure, because of the
Oh, it's very
FujiNet
flattering.
integration
Honestly, it's very
and
flattering.
how easy it is to use. And yeah, I love it.
Thank you.
Great. I'm going to go next, but what I'm up to because it's been very short. I kind of pulled a Brad and haven't done anything. Um,
Hey,
the
hey, hey. Keep going.
the only retro computing thing I did is I wrote an article that'll be in Juice GS magazine, the Apple II magazine, about a programming language called CMAC, and I interviewed a guy, and he sent me a bunch of disks of Apple II disks. So I went down to the basement and I fed those to the applesauce device, and I fluxed a bunch of disks, but it was all Apple II stuff, and that's all that I've done. Brad, what about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, well, you know how it goes. I've been actually rebuilding my deck. Man, there's a lot of nails in a deck. I'm still just pulling nails,
Hmm.
and but one thing I have started, sort of working on is to get something a little more bite size that I can come and go on. I've started messing around with the camera, the there it is,
There
the
it is.
Atari's conversational German course, and I've got that, and it's uh, you know, I'm
What
gonna
what what do you
brush
think
up
of
on
it?
it.
Is it working?
It's
Yeah.
I'm just getting it started. Like right now, I'm doing the fun things like rewinding all the tapes, and
Making sure that all the little pads are good on the tape,
uh,
on the cassettes.
Repairing your tape drive. See
yeah.
Yeah.
that? You're never
Yeah,
gonna learn
exactly.
German because you're gonna be down the rabbit hole of repairing cassette drives
Yeah,
instead.
yeah. I used to have a ton of cassette drives. I have one left that works,
Hmm.
and uh,
I don't have
yeah,
a working one at this
The
point.
only German you're gonna learn is how to swear at cassette drives in
yeah,
German.
and yeah. That's one of the things I do remember from what little German I know. Is a couple of words that I am not going to repeat right now,
Oh.
but anyway, yeah. So uh, I've been
So you'll be ready to co-host in German in a couple of months, right? Probably.
nine.
9 episodes? Wow.
9 months?
Okay. Nice. Okay. Well, good luck on your deck, Brad.
Yeah, yeah. Hoping I don't fall off because it's 13 feet up. So
Yikes.
yeah, it's uh, yeah. I should have done it years ago, but hey, that's life.
Yep.
Anyway, that's a lot of nails.
What about you, Randy?
Yeah, I don't have a ton to talk about on the Atari front either. I mean, besides helping test Fujisan with Paolo, I've been preparing for our upcoming computer show that we're having here in Indianapolis, March 21st and 22nd, and it's going to be an Atari display. I think I mentioned the last show. I'm going to have my Atari 8-bit set up, hooked to electronic typewriter, and using that as a printer. I and I have that device that will allow me to do that for this Smith Corona printer. So that's what I'm going to set up. I think kids will have fun playing with that as they come by and
Yeah.
try to print stuff out. And it, I know it works. I set it up and everything works great. So that's what I've been doing, just trying to get that ready for next weekend.
Nice. That sounds loud and fun.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Clacky, clacky.
Well, probably not any louder than what some of the other exhibits will be.
Yeah. So
There's
you're
going
gonna
to
have
be
the first Atari word processor on it?
I'll probably just use Atari Writer.
Okay. So you got
What's the first Atari word
Atari.
processor?
I
The
think
one
it was
called
called.
Atari word processor?
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sold for
I
like 5 minutes in 1979 and it was terrible. And, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say it's terrible, but it's not near as good as Atari Writer. that's, you know, a total agreement there.
I know Atari Writer works, so I'll probably just stick with that.
Yeah.
We should have a good Atari 8-bit presence there probably at our show because we've got several people from the Atari community that are in our club, and I expect we'll have a good 8-bit showing there, and I can talk about that next show.
Nice. Um, Great. Remind me, Randy, are you going to the VCF East or not?
I will not be going to VCF
Okay.
East. I could not make it happen,
Okay.
so I will not be there.
Okay. Well, well, sorry. I will not see you
I
there,
know
like
you
you
will
said.
be.
I will be. I
You
will be there.
you and a couple other podcasting friends I know will be there.
Yeah. But I think yeah, we'll probably have actually record another episode before we even get there. So we'll
Yeah.
talk about that in the future. Okay, great. All right, moving on, I believe we are going to talk about various Atari newses, and our first subcategory is new and updated games. Looks like I have the first one here. There is a new version of European countries and capitals updated since 1980, the year European countries and capitals was released for the Atari 8-bit computers. There have been changes, believe it or not, to European countries and capitals, such as the number of countries increasing. So this program has been updated, and I would tell you more about it, but Cloudflare is just like, I'm not sure you're human or not. Um, and But I am, and so now I'm looking at the Atari Age page, and this looks like a chat that Tom Cherryholm started in 2019 about European countries and capitals, and he was reverse engineering it. And in the most recent version, let's see, version 29, Livorno said, here's version 29. I started numbering at 26 for the year 2026. Newest editions is Sardinia and Sicily has been added to Italy and Corsica. It has been added to France. Let me start again. Sardinia and Sicily have been added to Italy, and Corsica has been added to France. And the overall European outline includes the islands of Corsica, Sardinia, and Sicily. He says, I have attempted to get rid of some of the white pixel artifacts on the finishing map, and the final country's borders cycle back to purple instead of remaining white as in the original program. I decided to leave Cyprus and Greenland out as they are disproportionately off the map. And so the program's updated. If you want to learn about European countries and capitals and not be stuck in the 80s, then you can do that. That's a fun project. I love that.
Yeah, that's cool that they're updating
Yeah,
19 program from 1980.
yeah,
And
neat.
yeah,
Brad, looks like you get the
nice
next one.
little.
You know, speaking of whether you're human or not, oh, okay, that's a terrible
Oh,
segue.
that
So
was
I'm gonna
better
just,
than average for you.
yeah,
Give it a seven.
the BDB project has released their ninth text adventure. It's called Homo Sapiens, and it's a traditional text adventure set in a prehistoric era with some very unusual puzzles. Now, that's saying something for a text adventure because text adventures are known for unusual puzzles.
Yes.
Okay, so uh, and they're you're a basically, from what I can tell, a caveman out looking for a mate in the prehistoric era with dinosaurs. So, yeah, it's a game. So, you know, dinosaurs and Homo
Nice.
sapiens, together.
What
Again,
what could go wrong?
yeah, what could go there? There you go. And so, uh, and it's a available on the 130XE,
Nice.
specified here, and lots of other computers with the Z code machine.
I looked up, I didn't know what the BDB project is. Have we discussed this before?
Yeah, we've
Oh,
discussed them. They're an Italian group who've re-released some of their earlier uh,
Text adventure.
projects
Yeah.
for modern,
Hmm.
and
It
I
says in,
don't know
Au-
if this is a re-release or a new one.
it says in August 2024, uh, Gonluca Garelli contacted Bonaventura di Bellio and asked for permission to translate his 35-year-old games to English and bring them up to date for a modern audience. BDB was thrilled to think people are still interested in his old games and gave him permission to proceed.
Mhm.
Neat. Fun.
Yeah, I think we talked about the first couple of them
Mm,
because they're westerns.
yes. Great.
And but yeah, they didn't. There's another. They're still out there, still doing it. So that's good.
Beautiful. Keep up the good work.
Hmm.
Randy.
yeah. So I saw a post on Atari Age from our good friend Mozzwald, who's done so much for the Atari community, including a lot of work on FujiNet. He said he's been working with Codex, which
That's
must
the
be, I'm
that's the
thinking, an
chat that's
AI
the
tool.
chat GPT coding system.
Oh, oh, okay.
It's
He's
yeah.
been working with Codex to try and make a multiplayer action game for FujiNet. Uh, he says he started working with a working multiplayer game from Analog, hoping it would be easier to modify than writing from scratch. And it created a server to manage up to 4 remote wizards and server-based zombies, and also a Linux text client for testing. Um, he said he has never worked with, he's never programmed in assembly ever. So that didn't help.
No, I
I
can't
find it
imagine.
difficult to believe that Mosswell never programmed in assembly with all the work he's done on FujiNet. That's amazing. Um, but he's made the source code available on GitHub. Got a link to that. He says it does require some pre-release FujiNet firmware from a fork that he's created, and it's also available on
Hmm.
GitHub if you want to try out his new game. It's
I
called
don't
FujiNet Maze War.
FujiNet always where it looks like a take on the classic uh, text-based Maze War Unix game that I played in the 80s, but this is like done in graphics mode 1, and it's kind of cute and neat. Well, I would like to see I hope this works. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it's trying to get an AI to massage and become what you want is can be difficult. But first step, FujiNet Maze War. Second step, 10-line basic programs. Right, Paulo? Neat. I think that needing a custom version of the FujiNet driver is probably going to be a stopper for a lot of people to try that one.
Yeah, probably will be. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if that's something he's planning on like integrating into the normal
Right.
firmware for. I would imagine that it would eventually become part of the standard FujiNet firmware.
Nice. Okay. Moving on, new and updated software. Fujisan is here. Anything else we need to say about Fujisan, Paulo?
No, I think that's it. Like the latest version is 1.1.8, which has the fast-paced built in. If people want to go there and try it, that works for all three platforms.
Great. Let's see. I'm running 1.1.2 like a
Oh,
Luddite. Oh
You've
my
got a
God.
really
yeah,
old version.
yeah.
He's made a lot of fixes since then.
Yeah. Did you change the thing so the SD card is no longer in the package? Because I didn't like that.
Yeah, no, that was a good feedback. What happens now is like when you install, it's gonna be there by default, but the first time you open the settings, it
Uh-huh.
will ask you to move to another place. So it
Okay.
will do for you. So if you press move files, it will move it to whatever like the platform has for like your user
Right.
um, uh,
Your home page, your
folder.
home
Yeah,
directory or whatever.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right. Great. Next time I upgrade, I'll have to actually find where I left everything last time. It's probably whatever I was working on is probably lost. Okay. Um, Neat. So then I can move my my program,
Yeah, so
which I was editing in the text in the IDE. I can move that program to my text editor and
yeah.
edit it, start working from
Yeah,
there.
you can put safely on the SD card folder if
Uh-huh.
that's what and won't be like if you upgrade won't be deleted, right? That
Okay.
was
You
the
know,
main problem you actually raised. Yeah.
great. Okay. Um, all right, great. Brad's gonna talk
Let's
about
see.
jar setter. I don't know what that is. Jar
You know,
setter.
I am not an artist. I am probably less of an artist than a programmer, and I'm not a programmer and all that stuff.
You're
But
not a German speaker and not a deck builder.
yeah, not much of it. And and according to that website, I am just a co-host. But anyway,
Oh.
uh,
You can't let that go, can you, Brad? You can't let
nope,
that go.
Oh,
nope. Uh,
There's some website out there that like lists, it's like a podcast information website, and it says that Kay Savitz is host of this podcast, and Randy Kindig is host of this podcast, and Brad is co-host of this podcast.
oh my God. That's so hurtful.
yeah,
Brad has been here since day one.
Yeah.
Brad is an
but
integral part of this
Yeah,
operation.
I can't think of this podcast without you three, so I
so
I second that.
I'm sorry.
no,
Okay, sorry, Brad. I interrupted my co-host.
but anyway, fonts. Even back in the day, I found it fun just to create fonts. I never did anything with them. I had, no projects or anything, but I just thought it was fun to create a font and, draw it on the screen and tweak on it and poke at it. And hey, I created a font, and so now I can do it again with this web tool called Care Setter or Char Setter, if you want to. And this one is with the help of a LLM. He created a pretty useful tool, he says, for creating fonts and maps. So, it's
Okay, neat. So it looks like we've got it's a web application
mhm,
and
for just drawing out, the. I'm gonna have to figure out how it works. You can, looks like you can load a font and tweak it, or create your own from whole cloth.
hmm,
And looks like a little fun.
neat.
Let's see. And you can even, oh, I like that. It has a CRT preview so we can look and see how it would look on the screen, which is,
Neat.
real good.
If I want things to be fuzzy, I just take off my glasses. I get that for
Yeah.
free.
But so I'm going to have to bookmark this one to play with it some.
Nice. Very good. Randy.
So there's been some recent work on a GUI for the Atari bit, one called Boss X. I don't know how many people have actually heard of this, but it's actually been around for a long time. It just hasn't been updated for a long time. Uh, as I said, there's been some recent work. Let's see here. I guess I didn't capture who was doing the work on that. Should Atari XLE. Atari XLE, whoever that is. You guys know who that is?
No.
No. Okay. There is there's a blog post on the ABIC website about it, and it says here that he has created what he calls Boss X, the final edition. It's a pre-release in German and English, and we've got the download link here. It says the setup program hasn't been tested yet. It's intended to be used to create the pre-installed download. He's tested the disk for bootability and whether they can load it in the RAM disk of a 130XE. And the foundation, namely creating DOS 2.5 disks, has been laid. So there are now 5 disk sides.
I don't understand what this is yet.
Yeah.
It's a UI. So it's just it's a UI layered on top of the Atari 8-bit. So you can,
I see.
Like
similar
Geos.
like you might have on an Atari
I
ST
see.
or a
Would it-
Mac or something like that.
Would it kill him to post a screenshot? Goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it runs on the Atari, right? It's not like a
Yeah.
PC
There-
application. It's something
Yeah, it
to
runs
run
right on
in
the Atari 8-bit.
yeah.
Yeah. And there are a couple different projects like that, for the Atari 8-bit, but
Right.
this is one that I don't think most people have heard of.
Neat. Would like to know more. I'd like to see what it looks like.
Yeah, I did not get a chance to download this and try it out, but it would be fun to play with.
All right, and now we're gonna, Paulo, you might want to cover your ears. We're gonna talk about a different emulator that's not
Oh my
Fujisan.
God.
You probably This is
Oh,
also a recent emulator. We talked about a little bit on the last show, the A8E that can run in the browser,
Hmm.
which is cool. I mean, it's nice to be able to run an emulator in a browser because you can run it on any device, pretty much. There's been an update to it. We talked about some of the features of it last show, but the recent update is now there's an assembler editor built into it. So you can click in the upper right and it will open up an editor assembler and you can load in or type in some assembler source. And it says the source and the binary will be stored on drive H. And they have implemented XEX program support. So it continues to improve. It's nice. I told the guy it would be nice if he could add FujiNet support to this as well. But sounds like that's somewhat difficult to do from a browser-based application. But it's a really nice emulator. Not to take anything away from what you've done, Paolo.
Oh
They
no,
certainly
I
have,
think
they
I
have
think
different use
actually it's like
cases, I think.
yeah, I think it's a very nice. I was playing with it just before the recording here, and looks very polished and also like if you think about it, like a web-based emulator like this is the perfect fit for like an iPad or like a
Yeah,
PC tablet,
exactly.
so you can use there too.
Right. Nice.
Or even on your phone.
Yeah, well, yeah, not for our old eyes, I guess, but yeah.
Nice. Okay, moving on. I'm going to talk about PokeStream Player, the developer of the new tracker for Atari 8-bit computers. VQ Tracker has created PokeStream Player, an audio converter from AV, MP3, FLAC, OGG, AIFF, MOD, XM, etc., to Atari executables. Interesting. Why didn't I see this when I was looking around the GitHub things? I don't know. So yeah, a stream player converts audio files to playable Atari 8-bit XEX binaries using PokePCM from backend extended memory. Fun. You can just feed it any MP3 or whatever, and it makes audio file. I'd be interested to know like how long, how long they could be.
How much?
How much, yeah,
Yeah.
depending, I'm sure it depends on your memory. But that's neat. I remember just being a kid and hearing it was just fascinating to me to hear someone had digitized Madonna's Material Girl song, and you could play it on the Atari, and it was like a 1-bit sample. Sounded bad. It was probably about, I don't know, 7 seconds long, and it was just like
Right.
amazing that that could happen. And now, yep, this is probably better than sounding than that. I'm gonna play with that. Give that a shot. Neat. Um, hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna, yeah, I guess I'll give this a shot. I'll set up a little pipeline to encode these, and then it'll make a little app, and then I can just drop that app into the Fujisan folder and run it without
Yeah.
a hassle, right?
Yeah, I was trying to see if it
Mm.
says anywhere on here, how long of a piece of, how
Yeah.
long can the music be in terms of
Right.
time? And I don't see that it really talks about that.
Yeah. Hmm.
They can digitize the podcasts on the
I
so you
mean,
can.
if it's going to be an XCX file that it creates, it can't be very big,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Well, that's something maybe fun to play with.
Yeah.
Great. Randy, why don't you take the next one and then I'll go back, double back to do the lab.
The other lab?
I mean, why don't you take your cube SQL thing
Oh,
and then
Cube.
I'll
Okay.
go. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. So, we had Wade on the last show, Wade Ripkowski on the last show, talked about his Cube SQL stuff that he's been doing. And since then, he's actually created another application that he calls Total Recall. Um, it's something that helps him, remember what sort of things he needs to do when, um, that sort of thing. But we've got the link to his blog post where he talks about this. But it's just another really nice application he's created. You can run right on your Atari. It can access a real database. He says this is the first one he's created that actually has a truly relational database. Actually has parent-child tables in it, and versus the other apps he created were all basically single table applications. So this is showing you the power of actually using a relational database and running it on your Atari. Good job, Wade.
Nice.
Appreciate it.
Next up is a program called DitherLab. DitherLab is a dithering tool for Atari 8-bit XLXA computers equipped with at least 128 kilobytes of RAM. It was created as part of the ABIC Software Competition Applications 2026. The program is used to process monochrome images with 256 levels of brightness into a format compatible with the 3 available graphics modes for the 8-bit computers: Graphics 8, Graphics 9, Graphics 15. And there's a link to the Atari Age forums where they discuss it, and there's all sorts of screenshots and things. But basically, the application provides 16 different image processing methods, 6 different algorithms to choose from, and you feed it an image, and it gives you the graphics for the Atari 8-bit in the format of and resolution of your choice. The floppy disk includes 6 sample images, which were created by converting original photographs to monochrome form, improving their quality, modifying their geometry to the target resolution, and then changing it to using the software. Neat.
These pictures look pretty good. The
They do.
examples
They
I
do
see
look
out
good.
there
Right.
for 8-bit pictures. I mean, I think they look pretty nice.
Nice. Yeah. Fun. So now you can take your MP3s and convert it to Atari. You can take your photographs and convert it to dithered images. Everything on the Atari
Right.
all the time.
All Atari all the time.
All right, Randy, you want to move on to TNFS?
Yes. So we've got more utility type software that's been developed here. This is pretty cool. So I don't know if you guys run a TNFS. Wow, I'm having trouble saying this. TNFS server on your own machine in order to support or work with FujiNet, right? So there's a lot of TNFS servers out there on the internet you can access from FujiNet. You can run your own, but I always found it a little bit daunting, I guess, to try to run TNFS myself on my own machine. So a gentleman who goes by 13 Leader has created a QT6 system tray edition of TNFS. So it gives you a modernized fork of the classic program written in cross-platform QT6. And so it makes managing and monitoring your retro computing file server very simple. You just invoke it and point it to wherever on your hard drive you want to be, to be your TNFS directory. And then from FujiNet, you can access it and get to those files. And so it's really, really simple to run your own TNFS server now and work with FujiNet. So I really like this. I did play around with it some, and it was just dead simple. Just ran it, went into FujiNet, and set up a new TNFS server in there, and pointed at my local IP address, and boom, it was running, and I could put whatever files I wanted in there. Yeah, so I think this is great.
Yeah, I wonder if they have this set up for a Docker container.
What's that, Brad?
Oh, my son has something called an Unraid server running here at the house. It's a file server kind of thing, but it also runs Docker containers. And so you can have all these applications running in these little containers. And it's pretty easy to get the containers because they're self-contained going. And
Is that when you say container, is that like a virtual machine?
sorta,
Yeah.
yes,
Huh.
sorta. Uh, it's it's a cross between a virtual machine and an emulator. Sorta. It's without going down a big rabbit hole. We'll leave it at that. But containers are lots of they were the big thing before AI hit a while back. Everybody was doing containerized stuff because you don't a virtual machine. You're virtualizing CPU, RAM, and a machine, a whole machine. A containers effectively just the application and data. And uh, I'm sure. Hey, I guess that's one way to get some response out of out of our listeners is uh, me to make totally erroneous statements about containers and
Yeah.
see all the people correcting
Yeah.
me.
Well, the purists will turn in their graves if you say that it's a virtual machine, but
Yeah,
it's pretty much like it's the best way to understand what it is.
yeah,
For example, like when I build Fujisan, I build on my Mac, and I have to build the Linux and Windows version. So for to do that, I pretty much like spawn containers that will build the Linux and build the Windows binaries in my Mac. It's a good way to do that.
mm,
And about this specific software, this QT6 tray NTFS, I think this is more for desktops because the UI is in there, right? Usually when you run containers, it's mostly like processes that don't
yeah,
have a UI associated.
yeah. And I was just hoping to, you know, uh, spin one up on my Unraid server, get it going, and forget about it because the Unraid server runs all the time in my basement. So I don't have to, worry about it running on my desktop, as it were.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway,
If you can poke me later, and I probably can help with that if you want.
okay.
Great. All right, moving on to the publications, magazines, newsletters section. Do you want to talk about Atari Insights, Randy?
Yeah, so Atari Insight says he continues to push out these magazines every month. The March 2026 copy has been released. He's got some interesting articles in there. One thing he talks about is Altira's H device, which is something I had no familiarity with at all. Paolo, you're probably familiar with the H device because I think don't you utilize that in Fujisan also?
Yes, the H device is when you kind of like build, not build, you connect hard drives to your Atari. It's not really a hard drive. You pretty much can say H device is a folder in my host, like when you're using emulator, right? So this it's kind of easy way to you can copy using your host machine, like files to that folder, and when in your emulator you can say load H1 column, the program name from there. It's just a map that the Atari, like our emulators support this H device. It's pretty much to map a drive in your Atari to a folder in your local machine. I don't know if
And
that works.
I wasn't familiar
Yeah.
with that before I read this article in Atari Insight. So that was great. Definitely learned something there. He's also got some articles about pushing the limits on Atari logo. Um, what else is here? There's a easy way to get FujiNet to work with Altira. Um, so that's some of the stuff that's covered. He's got a graphic zero gray screensaver also that he built. So if you want a screensaver for your Atari, you can get one there. So yeah, some nice articles there, and appreciate the continued publication of Atari Insights.
Very nice. Brad, do you want to talk about Atari projects?
About projects. All right. The Atari Projects website has a couple of new ones. One of them is Explore the Golden Rules using, where'd it go? Nope, that's not it. Using there it is, the Golden Rules website, which has kind of a FAQ, if you will, or questions or golden rules of Atari, uh, usage. Questions like, 5 1/4 diskettes, what about them? And it gives you some information. So talks about power supplies, you know, uh, and things. So it's, a little, some general information, some different information about Atari usage.
Starter kit, starter
Yeah,
guide.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one is
Is he doing this for a lot of different computers or just Atari 8-bit?
it's a good question. I don't know. Oops, where'd I go?
Let's see.
No, it's the website is called Atari800XL.eu.
All right, there you
So
go.
I'm assuming it's just
Just
Atari.
okay. I was worried it was conflicting with Randy's project of doing
Yeah.
starter guides for
And,
all different computers, but he's staying out of your lane, Randy. That's good.
yeah.
No, but this is good to verify what I've created on the Atari 8-bit side to make sure I haven't
Yeah.
forgotten something.
And
Yeah.
Some good
yeah.
information here.
And the website itself has a lot of other things other than just this one
Mhm.
document, as it were. So the other project for this month is Explore Gary's 8-Bit Forever portal, which is a website that's been around forever. And it's a good website that everybody, uh, oh, he says he is surprised he had never seen it before. Uh, I'm sure we've talked about it, but it would have been so far into the past that, or maybe I'm getting it confused with another one, but I'm sure we've talked about it.
Hmm.
And anyway, maybe I'm confusing it. But anyway, it's a website with lots of information. He's got a lot of things going on this website.
Great. I always like to see the new Atari projects show up on the AtariProjects.org. All right, moving ahead to contests. We've already discussed the 10-liner basic contest. The deadline for that is Sunday, March 22nd. So if you're going to enter, get in there because Paulo wants to judge your work, judge you
He wants more.
personally.
He wants more
Yeah.
programs to look at.
Paulo needs more to do.
Yeah.
But besides that, there are a couple other contests coming up that we've heard about. Paulo, do you want to talk about Fuji Cup?
Yes, sure. Fuji Cup, it looks like it's an annual tournament to create games for the Atari XL XE. It's a Polish website. It's easy to remember, fujicup.pl. Looks like people that want to participate can it has still like 320 days. Like it's the deadline is started February 1st, 2027. So it's almost a year for you to create a game for the Atari. I was looking through the rules here. It's pretty much like a standard regulation. You have to create a game that was never done before. You cannot extend an existing game. Like they gave here an example. Yeah, they won't accept Boulder Dash 423. So you have
Oh,
to create something new. Game has to be playable, has to be yours. Looks like you have two awards. You have the jury award, and you have the, let's say, audience or people's choice award, and both of them will give money prizes. They say that the money prizes, the cash prize, will depend on contributions and sponsorship. Looks like a very interesting contest. I didn't know about this before, to be honest, but the site is all in Polish, but translator does a pretty good job. So anyone, I think, can participate. Uh, and 300 days is probably a good time for who knows what to do.
fun.
Yeah.
Very good. Yep.
I don't know.
You could make a game in 323 days, I'm pretty sure. You can do it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Randy.
So the Atari 8-bit, or I'm sorry, the 8th annual Atari Homebrew Awards has occurred. ZeroPage Homebrew covered it on their YouTube channel. Well, it's initially on Twitch, and then it gets published on YouTube as well. And the winners have been announced for each of the categories as well. So this it's the Atari Homebrew Award, so it's for all Atari systems, but they have categories specifically for the Atari 8-bits. The Atari 8-bit / 5200 original game was the winner was Cosmic Hero 2 Prologue. The port game was Street Fighter 2. The winner on the graphics category original is Cosmic Hero 2. For port in graphics, Street Fighter 2. So far it's been the same ones. Music and sound original, Cosmic Hero 2. Music and sound port, Street Fighter 2. Finally, here's a different one in the work in progress original category, Kara T-Rex. And in the work in progress port category, Elite was the winner. So uh, those are your winners of the eighth annual Atari Homebrew Awards, at least in the Atari EPIC category. And these are probably pretty good games. I haven't played any of these. You guys played any Cosmic Hero or Street Fighter?
No,
No?
not on the Atari. I gotta waiting for Elite to get finished,
No.
and I'll definitely be all over that one. But we'll,
Brad's going to play Elite. You heard that on Antic when that gets released.
Mhm.
yeah, I will.
Because it shows how it's done.
I just got to remember I said that.
Nice. Um, very good. All right, moving on to the other random miscellaneous category. Paulo, tell us about reference manuals.
Okay, so Altira, like on their website, they release looks like a new version of their Altira hardware reference manual. And it's kind of funny, actually. If you go to their website, the introduction says, this is a document describing all the interesting behavior I've discovered in the Atari 8-bit hardware. And you think that's going to be like a 20-page text somewhere. And when you open the PDF, it's a 525-page document that
Uh-huh.
describes everything about the Atari hardware. It's crazy. I was hovering through the contact the index here, and it covers everything like all the hardware, a memory map, and even go to the point where there are descriptions about uh, the disk, the physical disk format, physical tape format. So this is probably like a reading for, I don't guess, more like the technical inclined hardware engineers out there, but it's crazy how it's detailed. And I don't know, this this should be on Amazon for sale, to be honest. It looks very thorough when covering all single aspects of the Atari hardware. This is actually interesting because like I told you guys, I'm kind of new to the Atari, and one of the things I struggle the most is seeing some behavior that I don't understand because I don't have the experience with the hardware, right? And this looks like a good way for me. I will never read this from over to the end, but it's a good probably a reference manual to check some of the details. Yeah, I think you guys put all these on the episode links, right? The notes. Yeah, this is certainly something that people should download and take a look. It's crazy how big and detailed this is.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
got the Indus GT memory maps, the ATR 8000 input port assignments, and drive control port layouts, PERCOM firmware revisions, the memory map for the black box. Uh, and so it's
So
just,
so so even Atari peripherals
yeah,
and
a lot of them,
but
a
yeah.
lot of them. And so it's just lots of information.
Yeah, so some people are, I don't know, above average. Like you see, it's Avery Lee. I think that's the
Yeah.
way we just say his name. It's super detailed. Like even I was reading, like hovering through the tape format, and there is some crazy math equations here, and it's probably something that the very low-level hardware engineer will have a good time here.
This is an amazing document. Holy cow.
Yeah,
Nice. Great find. Very
yeah.
good. Okay. Next up, Randy.
Yeah, so I came across this website. I didn't think that we had ever talked about it. I went back and looked, and it's been about 10 years since we talked about it. So I thought I would mention it again. It's a site called the Serious Computerist, and it's committed to information about serious software and resources for the Atari 8-bit line of computers. So it doesn't focus on games, it just focuses on serious software. And there's a ton of
But not the company
information.
serious software. He just means
No.
not humorous
Yeah.
software.
Yeah. Serious.
Yes.
Serious. Yes. Yeah. So there's lots of information about programming languages available, the different DOSes, the different editors, other utilities, how you emulate the Atari, that sort of thing. So there's really a lot of really nice, useful information here.
Looks like very in the inverse task realm here. Like Wade is
Yeah,
probably gonna be like real thrilled to read all this.
that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah, Wade came to mind when I saw this. I don't think this is his site though. I I couldn't tell whose site it actually is, but I don't think it's his site.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Okay, next we're talking about upcoming computer shows where you might find Atari 8-bit machines. Who's going to kick it off?
Well, I'll kick it off because this is the Indie Classic that I mentioned is coming up next weekend as we record this in Indianapolis, the Indie Classic Computer and Video Game Expo. Please join us if you can.
And March 21st, one day only, I guess, is Atari Invasion 2K26 in the Netherlands. So if you're in the Netherlands, you can find the city. But Marsen, well, whatever. You all know better than me. But it's March 21st.
April 17th through 19th at the Info Age Science and History Museums in Wall, New Jersey will be VCF East, Vintage Computer Festival East. Always a good time. I will be there. Other podcasters will be there. It'll be great.
So you're going to be on a panel that
Yes.
includes Earl Evans
Yep.
and Pete Zatinsky, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And maybe one more. I don't know.
Yeah, others as well. I actually don't have it in
Yeah.
front of me, so yep.
Yeah. All good friends of mine. So
Yeah.
that'll be interesting. Plus you.
Plus me. Also somebody you know.
Also somebody I know. There's also the Midwest Gaming Classic, April 24th through the 26th at the Baird Center in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
VCF Europe is May 1st through 3rd in Munich, Germany.
Vintage Computer Festival Pacific Northwest will be May 2nd and 3rd in Tukwila, Washington, a little bit south of Seattle. I intend to be there.
You intend to be there? And then later that month, the 29th through the 31st of May, is VCF Southwest at the Westin Dallas Fort Worth Airport.
Yeah, I would really like to go with this, but unfortunately, it's just, but May 30th and 31st is RetroFest 2026 at the Steam Museum of the Great Western Railway in Swindon, UK. Having a retro computer show in a railway museum would just be cool.
You should go. Cool. You should go.
Yeah.
Go.
I wish.
The deck can wait. Go.
Yeah. And yeah. But
and you don't have to learn German to go either.
No.
Yeah, well,
probably,
that's true.
You know English pretty okay.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah, it's pretty close enough. And yeah, it's Randy Barry Fisher is the guy who owns that website.
The Serious Computers?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Great.
I clicked on donate, and it has his name for
Okay.
donation.
Mhm.
I clicked all over and I couldn't find it.
Yeah,
So
so
you're
I clicked on
you're
donate.
better at it than I
And
am.
his name, yeah, and I'm a detective. Yeah, yeah. All right. Uh,
All right, moving on. YouTube videos. This is the part where Randy does the brain rot and watches the YouTube videos. What'd you find for us?
Yeah. So I just had three that I want to point out, and then Kay, I think you had one. But Tom Cherry Holmes wrote an interesting little article on, or I'm sorry, created a little video on writing his compute articles. Uh, so as we've talked about before, he writes for Compute's Gazette magazine. So he writes his compute articles on his Atari thanks to FujiNet. And he talks about his workflow and how he does that. And he likes it because it gets distraction-free writing. And that's kind of cool that he's using his Atari to actually write those articles.
That's neat.
Also, a video from Zaxxon IEC where he has built something he calls the Atari 65 XEF, which is a Atari 65 XE with the floppy drive. So he's used the kind of the ST designation of having the F on the end of it. And it's cool to see a
Is it
Atari 8-bit.
I'm only looking at the screenshot here. Is it a 3.5 inch drive?
Yeah, three and
Huh.
a half inch
Yeah,
drive.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't know how you'd fit a larger drive in there. Wild.
yeah, a 5 1/4.
Huh.
Yeah, probably would be hard. So as far as I know, it's just a one-off thing. I
Sure.
don't know if he's planning on posting any files on how he did that or what, but it's a neat little piece of hardware.
Hmm.
And then the other one I had was a new level editor for the program Monta or the game Montezuma's Revenge for the Atari 8-bit. Lou Daney has created this level editor. You can create your own levels for that game. It requires Python to run as a standalone executable for Windows. But he also has shared source code, so you can compile it yourself and create something for the Mac or Unix if you want to. But we've got a link to where you can download the file. And you also need the original .exe file of the game. And he's provided a link to that as well to where it's at on fandle.cz.
Nice.
So kind of cool. And Kay, I think you had one.
I found one. I didn't, well, I don't really tend to watch YouTube, but I was hoping that, I don't know, I decided to mention it here. A video podcast called A Trip Down Memory Card Lane. It had a podcast called A Catalog of Possibility, The Rise and Fall of the Atari Program Exchange. And maybe it's good, maybe it's not. I don't know. But I saw something about APX and got excited, but you know, not excited enough to spend 50 minutes watching the video.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Let's see. I'm moving on to what's new at archive.org. Only a couple of Atari related things that I found this time. One is someone uploaded 4 issues of the Tyne and Ware Atari 8-bit user group newsletter. These are from when are they from? Mid 90s, 94 or so. Tyne and Ware is a county in England. Um, and so nice little newsletter and about what the club's up to and articles about the parallel bus and what software you can download and that sort of thing. Nice to see those there. Um, Alan Bushman uploaded a nice scan of the Basic A Plus manual from Optimized System Software. This is a 78-page reference guide to using Basic A Plus. All very nice. And thank you, Alan, for that. And then someone uploaded a 1979 Atari 8-bit computer, a 1979 Atari 400 8-bit computer official promo video. Um, and this, we may have talked about this before a long time ago, but basically this is a 5-minute video. I guess it was used in stores or something to promote only the Atari 400. So that's kind of interesting. It's got some graphics and guy talking and how to put a cartridge in the machine and all that sort of thing. That's kind of fun. We're seeing. And that's what's new at archive.org. And we're going to do a special, we haven't done this in a while. We're going to do a special, now a word from our sponsor, but I'm going to play it here and we're going to discuss it because we know we're using Zoom and we're all in the high tech, whatever. So give me a minute and I'll see if I can share this. And this will be our word from our sponsor, which is an Atari 800XL commercial from 1984 from Australia featuring Mr. T.
Now pay attention, because this here's the Atari 800XL home computer, and it's no ordinary computer. It's got the best graphics, even make me look good, and it's easy to use, so you can fly a plane, explore the brain, study law, learn to draw, communicate, interrelate, shoot the stars, build a car, move with the times, expand your mind. Start today, you're on your way. Now you got the picture? Take it from him. To get the best start, buy a better computer. This is Atari. This is the best.
There we are. The Australian Atari 8-bit computer with
That's
Mr. T.
funny.
Isn't
I've
that
never
funny?
seen that before.
No,
Yeah,
me
that's
neither.
cool.
I want to talk about the beginning. Now, I realize most people are going to listen to this in audio, but
In
you can't
audio.
can't see the video. At the beginning of it, there's an animation of Mr. T, and I can believe that each of the frames were made on the Atari 8-bit computer, but it's animated so fast. I don't believe for a minute that this is like a real-time rendering. These had to be rendered, each of them took a minute to render and then they were
No
they were
ordinary
stitched
computer.
together.
It's got the best graphics, even make me look good, and it's easy to use, so you can.
I think that that's
So some of those graphics were not done on Atari 8-bit.
Yeah,
No
they
way.
had computer graphics further on in that was, my opinion, a
Yeah.
little
Some of those are
misleading.
well, I
photos.
mean these are just photos of
Yeah.
things. I don't think those are supposed to be Atari 8-bit. I mean
Right,
that's
but
not.
No.
yeah,
Yeah.
see, like I said, there's computer graphics further in, and it's,
Yeah.
yeah, a
Um,
little
Yeah,
misleading.
anyway.
Mr. T looks like he could have been made on the Atari or any like computer of the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
the animation
Yeah.
for sure is like a video trick here. Like you can see his face moving, like too many like small details
Right.
to.
Yeah. The number of like frames per
Yeah,
second. I mean, it just is ridiculous. They're all nice. Every individual frame is nice and kind of funny but um, yeah, I don't know. I think they took some liberties with it.
Yeah,
but
They definitely took some
yeah.
liberties with it.
I'm big fan of Mr. T. If they had put this ad in North America, probably we will be using Atari this day. Like they
Right.
would have sold so many that would be not PCs but Ataris.
I'm
Yeah.
super curious. I mean, I don't know just super curious about, I mean, how Mr. T recorded this commercial, but like only for the Australian audience. Why this would have done
Hmm.
great in the United States or
Yeah, yeah, I agree.
I,
Mhm.
Was
and I don't understand stuff like that. I guess it's, but apparently it's done a lot
huh,
where actors and celebrities, whatever, go to other countries and make commercials.
huh.
And it's because there's a whole, on YouTube, there's a whole thing of commercials that you've never seen before from other countries with celebrities,
Hmm.
the American celebrities stuff. And it's just, you know, I guess. But yeah, I agree. It's that's better than some of them that we got.
Right. Yeah. As far as celebrity endorsements,
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
because it
Wow.
had a nice amount of humor in it,
Hmm.
you know, and capitalize on his, status and all that. But I think it was pretty good.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I couldn't find anything on GitHub that was worth talking about, but we do have listener feedback from our buddy Wade, who wants to read that.
Wade, Wade, he,
Wade.
oh, Wade writes in and says, "Thanks, guys. The Your podcast was so much better with me being on
He
it."
did not say
And
that. He probably meant it, but that's not what he wrote.
okay, he didn't say that, and but he actually said, "Thanks, guys. It was fun being on the last show. We briefly touched on the new FujiNet PC launcher. Here's a quick blog post showing how I set it up to get one-click access to an Atari pre-configured to use it and get FujiNet PC running at the same time." And there's a link in the show notes.
Nice. So just for your reference, Paulo, it's customary to send a thank you note after you've been a guest on the
Oh,
podcast.
okay, okay. I'll
And
make sure it'll
With
be
cash.
yeah, yeah, a gift is also acceptable, not
Yeah.
required.
okay. A basket with I don't know, like a nice breakfast and flowers.
Sure, sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
okay,
Yeah,
a cheese platter or cookies, whatever,
yeah,
don't go
yeah.
overboard. It's fine.
I can send some poutine. I think it's the only Canadian thing that people know about. So
Excellent. Excellent. All right. I think that's about it. We're wrapping up. Before we close it up shop, Paulo, why don't you tell our people how they can find you? Are you on social media? Do you have a website? How do they find more about Fujisan? What do you want
uh,
people to know?
okay. Well, I think that for I have a personal website. It's 8bitrelics.com. It's 8 the number and bitrelics.com. There's not much there. Some old articles I had at the time I published on Vintage. It is the new old, so I moved to there and keeping some Atari stuff in there. But I would love to see people going to GitHub. Actually, just search for Fujisan. um, you probably will find the Fujisan emulator and try it, download it, and if you have any questions, there is the issue link in that GitHub page, and send your feedback there. That will be great. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not too big. I have like a lot of social media accounts, but I don't use those very much. I'm hanging out more on Blue Sky these days.
Hmm.
And you can find me on like also 8-bit relics.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I mean, thank you for being our guest and talking to us about Fujisan. That was lovely.
Yeah,
And you're welcome back anytime.
thank
Yeah,
you. Yeah,
thanks a lot, Paul.
it was a very nice time, and I'm very actually proud to be here. It's very exciting, and I appreciate your patience and the time we had here.
Very good. Thank you for listening to the show. You can provide feedback in a number of ways. You can email us at
Antic at
Antique at Atari Podcast.
AtariPodcast.com.
Knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
yeah, or on Blue Sky at Atari Podcast dot bsky.social. Our website with show notes and links for everything we've talked about on this episode is at Paulo.
Oh, sorry. What I have to say,
You say
antiquepodcast.com?
yeah, no.
Oh,
That's what he needs.
you
Close.
got me
Uh,
unprepared
yes,
again.
that was my goal. Is at
Oh, I
www.ataripodcast.com.
see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're on Facebook and we're on Discord and all those good things. And you're welcome to find our links. And that about wraps it up. Thank you all for podcasting with me today.
Thanks, guys. Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Yeah. See you all
Thanks to the
next month.
listeners, all two of you.
Very good. Nice
Thank you as
work.
well.
Right.
You said two, and after this one with me will be one listener. So
Right, right.
enjoy
Well,
a while. You have
well,
two.
you were honest.
Well,
You don't need to listen. So you.
Yeah,
we'll
exactly.
have three after you're on here, so I'm
Yeah,
sure at least.
that ruins my commute for the
Well,
next few days
you
when
know,
you guys release the podcast.
well,
I have to find something
Paulo's
else.
mom is going to listen, and
Yeah.
so-